Okay, so this has been kind of trending on Twitter, specifically this that somebody had sent to me. But I want to look at all of it. This is a story of a daughter, supposed daughter, trashing her father. We don't know the specifics. I don't know too much about it. Her video is a minute and a half. He has an extra 9 minutes of context. We're going to engage with her video first to hear her out. Then we're going to engage with his criticism. This way we can kind of go into it like that. And then she makes a response to it, which I don't think I've seen anybody really talking about. So this one has like 5.6 million views. Let's start with this one. So here we go.
What's a piece of trauma that you have that's funny? It has to actually be funny. I'll go first. My dad abandoned my family when I was 5 years old. That is a wife and 4 kids. He abandoned us and then pursued amateur breakdancing.
Hey. That's kind of cool though.
And
I know he plays her whole video. I want to just get what she says first. I want to interact with it by itself.
He got really good.
Oh, good for
he
him.
like blew up. Like he became like a D-list celebrity status, like viral breakdancer. He became like the oldest actively competing breakdancer in the world. Then he got on Good Morning America and talk shows, and Washington Post wrote about him, and he went super viral, and he did all these interviews, and he danced with Paula Abdul. And here, I'll show.
Wow, that's interesting for him.
You.
Take a look at this 60-year-old breakdancer. Yes, 60 years.
Wow.
Amazing.
Is anybody claiming that he's appropriating black culture yet, or what?
That's Ben Hart. He's competing at a breakdancing competition in Philadelphia, and he may not have won, but I tell you what, he is winning over a lot of people on the internet. Yeah. He really is. Yep, he's winning over a lot of people on the internet.
Okay.
This guy wouldn't pay my medical bills.
Okay, I mean, I do wonder what the context is, but so far, you know, you're leaving your kids. That's pretty messed up. I wonder if he was paying child support or whatever, but we'll see what his context is when he gives us his take. We're probably going to have to edit that out.
The worst part, damn it, he's good. He should not be able to move his body like that. It's like impossible. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, it's like people are saying right now that you shouldn't be shoveling if you're over 45 or something because you're going to have a heart attack. The cold air plus like the I don't know, exerting yourself. You just got to stay healthy, man. You got to do stuff like this, break dance, so that you can shovel the snow and pace yourself.
Hey, Dad.
I think they say like with a regular shovel you're supposed. I think it's just those electric snow shovel companies trying to sell you more stuff.
Like there was no split custody or anything. Like he just like left 4 kids to do that. He may not have paid for some of my medical bills growing up, but he
some of your so did he pay for some of them?
Did give me.
If you didn't pay for some of them, then he paid for others.
This breakdancing merchandise. So that's him. He's on his head.
Cool.
Benihana is his b-boy name because his name is Ben Hart. You know, I'll get texts.
He gave you the shirt. I just wonder if they like reconnected after a long time or something.
It's like this. Happy birthday ? And then like links to his breakdancing videos.
Okay,
You have funny trauma, like actual funny haha trauma. I need to hear it. Thank you. What's a piece of...
Okay, so now let's get to his video. Let's see what he has to say.
Okay, I wake up at 6 a.m. to do some work. I get my coffee. I sit down. I open my computer. And what am I greeted with? Well, hundreds of comments calling me a deadbeat dad, a child abandoner, and all manner of other insults. So I think, what's this all about? Well, after a few minutes of investigation, I discover that my daughter, Maddie, has made a video about me. She's a screenwriter in Hollywood.
Okay. It's so interesting because I feel like 10 years ago, people would have instantly 100% believed her. But we exist in this weird, and she might be right, by the way. I don't know if his context is going to reveal anything. But now we live in this weird space where people love having trauma, and they will, you know, exacerbate their trauma sometimes, if it even is something that would be considered trauma. I don't know, for attention and likes and clicks, and we have such a performative space that I'm very skeptical of anybody coming forward and saying anything on the internet. So that's just where I am. You know, I talk about how like a factor that is woke fatigue. People are like really tired of all this woke shit. They're tired of caring about like every little thing. But yeah,
She's also a big social media influencer with millions of followers.
that I don't know if is true. Her TikTok has like 70,000 followers. She doesn't have anything that I've seen that was bigger than that. I don't know what he's referring to, why he says she has millions of followers. I don't think that she does, but maybe I'm just missing something. I looked through her link tree.
Some of her videos get millions of views.
That part's true.
And this video has tens of millions of views.
I saw 5.6 on TikTok, unless somebody reposted on Twitter, and maybe she doesn't have her Twitter linked. I don't know.
1 million likes, 20,000 comments, 40,000 bookmarks, 30,000 reposts. It's just insane. So I thought I'd better watch this video. And frankly, I was pretty chagrined by what I heard, to say
Chagrined? Okay. This guy's definitely like a 60-year-old breakdancer.
the least. But honestly, the more I watch this video, the more I like it. Well,
He's got such a weird way of talking.
I like about 98% of it. However, I do need to correct a few statements in the video.
Okay.
But first, let's just watch Maddie's 90-second video, and then I'll give you my comments.
What's a piece of trauma that you have that's funny? It has to
That's funny.
actually be funny. I'll go first. My dad abandoned my family when I was 5 years old. That is a wife and 4 kids. He abandoned us and
I wonder if she was the youngest.
then pursued amateur breakdancing.
Some more context is needed here. Needless to say, I will talk about this in a moment. All right, let's continue with the video.
Okay. I'm curious to see if he's the deadbeat dad.
And he got really good. He like blew up. Like he became like a D-list celebrity status, like viral breakdancer. He became like the oldest actively competing breakdancer in the world. Then he got on Good Morning America and talk shows, and Washington Post wrote about him, and he went super viral, and he did all these interviews, and he danced with Paula Abdul. And here, I'll show you.
To see, take a look at this 60-year-old breakdancer.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, 60 years old.
I wonder, there might be like holes in the video if those things get like pulled down for, they might be copyrighted.
Amazing.
But it's him breakdancing. That's on Good Morning America.
That's Ben Hart. He's competing at a break dancing competition in Philadelphia, and he may not have won, but I tell you what, he is winning over a lot of people on the internet.
Yes.
He really is. Yep, he's winning over a lot of people on the internet.
This guy wouldn't pay my medical bills.
That is not true.
Yeah, I believe him because she said he did not pay some of my medical bills as she goes on to talk. So, to me, that suggests that he has some kind of like a child support agreement, and like he has to pay for some things but not others, and that's and I could be wrong about it.
More on that in a minute.
Just give it to me now.
The worst part, damn it, he's good. He should not be able to move his body like that. It's like impossible. It's beautiful. Hey,
It's beautiful.
Dad.
Thank you, Maddie.
Like there was no split custody or anything. Like he
It's so weird because if they're on good terms, the fact that she's doing this is really weird because people like it's really, you know what I mean? Like if it's one thing if they didn't have any interaction, it would be weird if they have like a positive relationship now and he's tried to redeem some of his, former sins, we'll say. And she does this, it makes it even more, it just kind of makes it weird and potentially a little scummy.
just like left 4 kids to do that. He may not have paid for some of my medical bills growing up, but he did give me this breakdancing merchandise. So that's him. He's on his
That is a nice shirt.
This is B-boy
Yeah, and it's weird because she says that he gave it to her, which means that they have some kind of relationship to me. So
name because his name is Ben Hart. I'll get texts like this, "Happy birthday?" ? And then
And the weird tone of her video, I don't know. There's something weird and performative about the tone of her video. And maybe I'm reading too much into it. Like, I'm not trying to, shit on her, but if you're angry at your dad for abandoning you, that's fine. Be angry. But you have like this weird, nice tone. You're like, yeah, he's actually really good. Like this, that, and the other thing. I would be just angry talking about how horrible my father was, how much of a piece of shit he was. You know what I mean? So it's weird. It's just weird to me. I know I'm just using the word weird is not a very good communicator, but
and like links to his breakdancing video.
That's true.
You have funny trauma, like actual funny haha trauma. I need to hear it.
funny,
Thank you.
funny trauma.
Okay, in many ways, I love this video. And of course, I love my daughter, Maddie. And we get along great. At least I think we do.
Yeah, so that's weird. If they do get along great, why she's making this performative, like, hit piece of a video, to be charitable to her, if he's being accurate and they have a good relationship. Like, she's so warped by like the online incentivizing metrics to come forward with like weird fucking stories like this. You know, she was groomed by the internet.
But a few corrections are in order, or at least a few things that need to be put in context. First, I can see that as a 5-year-old, Maddie would see her dad as having abandoned the family. One day I was living there, the next day I wasn't. And that will look like abandonment to a child.
For sure.
But married couples do get divorced about half the time in America.
Sure.
And I was just living a mile or so down the street in LaGrange, Illinois.
Okay. So he was close to his kids. All right. So far, okay.
We just weren't...
She's also not 5 now. So if she understands the context of the story, then she's like a dishonest person.
living under the same roof. Now, about not
Hold on.
LaGrange, Illinois. We just weren't living
Okay.
under the same roof. Now, about not paying medical bills. That's just not correct.
Yeah, she even admits it's not correct. Because then she, like, later she says some medical bill, right? So, like, you can hear her own language where she's effectively admitting she's lying to us. He wouldn't pay my medical bills. He wouldn't pay some of my medical bills. Like, you know, she says it twice. It's like, yeah, she already lied by her own admission, which assassinates her credibility as a, you know, somebody, as a narrator.
Here was the financial arrangement of the divorce. Maddie's mom, my ex-wife, got $2 million at the get-go.
What the fuck? What was he doing? Now it makes sense why he was able to quit and be a breakdancer. He must have been loaded.
Out of the gate, a lump sum payment. Plus, I was paying her $18,000 per month in child support.
I mean, this guy must have been loaded. He must have said, fuck it, I'm going to go pursue my dream of being a breakdancer. What sounds like it happened to me now is that he hit a point in his life where he was incredibly successful, and part of that success might have been him unintentionally neglecting his family. And it's one of the things that I think some men should realize. A lot of men, especially men that are high earners, they get so involved in just being better. It's not even about the dollar anymore. It's just about being better than themselves. It's a very positive, powerful motivation that can have negative consequences, like not being there for your family. So what it sounds like to me, and I'm just assuming, I could be wrong, is in his like he was trying to make tons and tons of money because it's like, you know, it validates you as a man. And it was taken away from his life and his family, and there was irreparable damage between him and his wife, and that's how things work sometimes. And so he left, and then maybe he said, fuck it, I'm going to go pursue breakdancing. I got all the money I need. This has already kind of destroyed my life a little bit. Let me get on track. I mean, I would not doubt that. I wouldn't doubt that.
And alimony. This was later reduced to $12,000 per month.
That's insane.
And of course,
I wish I was just making that much money.
paid health insurance and out-of-pocket medical costs.
Of course.
I also put $600,000 into the kids' college fund. In all, I paid out about $5 million to my ex-wife to cover costs for her and the kids.
Makes perfect sense.
And this is in 2005 dollars. So add 50% to account for inflation.
Sure.
In other words, I was not a deadbeat dad at all. And by the way, Maddie did not say that in her video. But a lot of the comments assume that and say that. Now, of course, there was no way for...
I think that's kind of the implication. That's what she said without saying it. Let's be real here. That's what she was saying without actually like explicitly saying that. So
Maddie to know how much I was paying because she was a kid.
Sure.
This wasn't something I talked about.
But now Maddie's an adult, and she could have had this conversation with her dad, because it's not unreasonable for her to have some hang-ups about the situation. You know? So you're an adult. If you have issues with your dad, and especially if you have a relationship, instead of going to social media, talk to him about it, or don't talk to him about it. But like, you came to social media to try to have this gotcha moment for your dad. And you know what it is? This is how fucked up people's brains are now. I doubt she was even thinking anything negative about her father. I guarantee you that in her warped brain, her warped internet brain, it was just like, oh, people will think this is funny. Look at this trauma that I have. Haha, let me start a trend. Her dad isn't even part, and I could be wrong, but her dad isn't even part of the equation. Social media probably has her mind so rotted that she thinks that, like, this is normal behavior. Because it is on the internet. Horrible dog shit boundaries is normal behavior on the internet. We have had all these conversations about the Me Too movement and how we need to educate people to have better boundaries and to stand up for themselves more and not to push boundaries. And And now what do we have? The same thing on TikTok. We have the same thing on TikTok. There is just this fundamental lack of the existence of boundaries. We've always had a boundary problem. It's crazy.
Also, remember that I was living 1 mile down the road from the kids in LaGrange, Illinois. Sidewalks all the way. An easy walk or bike ride. I saw the kids all the time. No abandonment, just a divorce. Was I at fault in the divorce? Yeah, I would say I was about 70% at fault.
Okay.
I own that. Maddie's mom.
That's fair. He might have cheated on his wife or something. Fair enough.
And I were really not compatible in many ways.
Okay.
We were compatible in some ways, but...
Listen, I appreciate people who get divorces when they're not happy with each other, because then if you stay with each other, all you're doing is teaching your kids to be miserable in their relationship, because that's what's going to be taught. And so I think it's better to break up but have a good relationship as mother and father of your kids and be around and be there for your kids. I think that's a step in the right direction, so you could teach your kids how to love better and when to identify that you're not in love, and because that's okay. Because you're never going to find the right one if you force yourself to stay with the wrong one.
Not in other ways. Do I regret marrying Maddie's mom? No, absolutely not. If I had not married Maddie's mom, Maddie and her 3 siblings would not have been born. They would not have
I wonder what the siblings think of this.
Existed. The kids have turned out great. Maddie graduated from Northwestern University and is a screenwriter in Hollywood. Maddie's older sister, Tori, is a partner at a hedge fund on Wall Street, and she's getting rich.
All of his kids are doing so well. What's her complaint?
Maddie's younger sister, Olivia, just graduated from college and is teaching English to first graders in Thailand.
Good for her.
Her older brother, Peter, is getting a master's degree in psychology. I get along great.
That's actually interesting. Good for him.
With all my
there's a very high need for men, especially in like social work degrees. I don't know if that's specifically the psychology degree. There's like a lot of fields that are considered more feminine that actually really want more men in them, and like that's one of them.
My kids, including Maddie. At least I think I do. So the kids are doing just fine despite Dad's many shortcomings. One other slight...
Hey, listen, you got to respect the man for owning his shit and still being there for his kids. From what he's saying, maybe he's lying, but we'll see what her response is.
Correction, which I had...
Like, I'm not angry that my father left my mother. I'm not angry about that at all. I'm angry that he never wanted to be part of my life. You don't need to be a good husband to be a good father. Okay, you don't even need to be a good father. You just need to be a father. You know what I mean? You know, the effort, especially as you get older, is something that you appreciate. I mean, you know what I mean? So, like, I can appreciate this. Hey, we got divorced. We weren't for each other, but I still lived close. Hey, I respect that.
Hesitate to even bring up because I love the way Maddie did this in her video. I did not abandon the family for breakdancing. I have a career. I'm in the advertising business. Built an ad agency.
Yeah, see, he made a bunch of money building the agency.
That's how I was able to afford to pay Maddie's mom $5 million. Maddie's mom and I separated in 2004 and divorced in 2005.
Okay.
I took up breakdancing entirely by accident in 2012 as a way to get in shape at the age of 54. I then just kept doing it. I'm now age 66.
That looks pretty good.
Now, some of you might be wondering, can he still breakdance at age 66? Well, I don't know. Let's see. I'll give it a try.
Okay.
Okay, Maddie, let's see how the old man does.
Okay. Gonna mute that. He's certainly breakdancing. Okay. We don't need to watch the whole thing. Good for him.
It's never too late to start breakdancing. I started when I was age 54.
Okay.
Even though first
you guys can go watch it yourself. I just don't, for copyright issues.
Not to be breakdancing. So the bottom line is this. At first, I really did not like Maddie's video at all.
Yeah, I could see why.
But I was biased by all the negative comments that I was greeted with at 6 a.m. in the morning in my social...
Dude, I hate it. Stop saying 6 a.m. in the morning. A.m. is the morning. Just say 6 a.m.
media feed. But the more I watch the video, the more I like it. And her video certainly is true from her perspective, even though a few details are...
She's old enough to be able to get the right perspective by asking questions of her mom or her dad. So I think this is obviously a dad protecting his daughter. God bless him. But she's an asshole. She's not irredeemable. I'm just saying she's an asshole.
Off. No doubt because of what she heard from her mom. And I do think it's a great storyline. That
maybe she did get, maybe it is the mom's issue. Maybe the mom is the problem.
54-year-old dude left his family to...
you shouldn't be talking shit about your other partner. with your kids. It's not healthy.
Pursue breakdancing, even if not quite true, factually. But perhaps it speaks to a bigger truth, a truth that is really truer than the actual facts of the matter. This could be a very funny movie plot. So maybe Maddie will make this movie about her 66-year-old breakdancing dad. Also, as I scroll through the 12,000 comments on Maddie's video, I really like most of them. Some are hilarious. Here are a few I'll read at random. This one is from someone named Ro, and she says, "My mom abandoned me as a kid to join a Renaissance fair across the country."
Okay, interesting.
This is from Maria. "I didn't know my dad
70% his fault. What do you mean by that vague comment?
was bald until my mom knocked his toupee off in a fight when I was 10. My mom didn't know he was bald then until that moment."
Okay.
This is from Diane. "In foster care mandated therapy, the therapist told me I had abandonment issues and then stopped showing up to the sessions. I never saw her again."
Okay.
This one's from Bravo. "My mom died the week of Mother's Day, and my father died on Father's Day weekend. It's honestly so typical of both of them." This is from Clover. "My dad tried to kidnap me and ran out of gas while following us."
What an idiot.
This one from Chriselle. "I had to be my mom's boss at Dairy Queen when I was 17.
Damn.
And had to fire her for smoking while working the drive-thru."
Damn. That's fucking brutal. That one's fucked up.
Becca says, "When my grandma passed away, my grandpa moved
Rending
into a...
Rapier super chatted $5. $5 from
Oh, I
Rending
double
Rapier.
announces, sorry.
First time catching the stream at 2:15 in the afternoon.
Beautiful stuff, brother. I appreciate the first time you catching the stream at 2:15 in the afternoon.
senior's home, met another woman, and brought her as a date to the funeral." Here's someone who says, "A video of my dad was featured in an episode of World's Dumbest Criminals." I love you, Maddie. You are very creative and talented. Keep doing exactly what you're doing.
Okay. Interesting. So it sounds like, listen, there were some holes in her own story. So I'm more on the dad's side. So now let's see what she has to say.
I'm recording a quick
Why do y'all feel so comfortable coming online and trashing about your family, especially lying about it? Ben seems like a cool guy. Oh, Ben. Do you just want to be included in a group of people with actual deadbeat dads? Let's see what she responds to.
I'm recording a quick response to all this. I'll probably delete this in the morning because, like, I don't actually have
She didn't delete it in the morning.
like bad will. I posted my video because it's a very funny story. It's very silly.
It's not really that funny, but okay.
I like
It's desperate for attention, in my opinion.
to laugh at my trauma instead of like being super sad about it. But I know my
Maybe she's a therapist. You have plenty of money.
dad posted like a 10-minute video or whatever being like, you know, my daughter's lying. We have a great relationship. I have a great relationship with all my kids. That's
not even what he said. He says he thought he had like a solid relationship with them.
just objectively not true. Like, guys, we're all freaking out about this in my family group chat right now. We're being like, he's so unhinged and delusional. We don't know if he actually believes his own narrative or if he's lying on purpose. But
Oh, show us the group chat. Show us the group chat. I want to see that. I want to see that happening because I'm skeptical. So I want to see like the group chat that's like, oh man, dad is such a silly little goose. I think that that's a reasonable thing to ask.
But he's just like a weird guy. Yeah, he said he lived down the street from us. That's not true. Or like if he did, it was only for a few months maybe. But actually for most of my childhood, he lived in Florida with his new wife. Like basically like, I don't want to get into this. Like again, like
Well, you kind of have to. You decided to open the dialogue.
my video was basically like sanitizing the situation and like poking fun at the lightest parts of that childhood trauma. But obviously in real life, it was a lot more.
Well, you claimed he wouldn't pay for any of your medical bills, so we need to know about the money now. I mean, now we're going to do like a he said, she said scenario.
Like complicated and traumatic, and it was really hard. He left us, immediately married another woman. We didn't hear from him for years.
That might be true. He said it was 70% his fault, so that's... what was the first thing I said? Oh, maybe he cheated. Like, I wouldn't doubt that.
And then he would visit every few months and we'd go out to dinner, but like he truly had no hand in raising us at all. We don't speak with any sort of regularity. He doesn't know when my birthday is. Like as you guys
He doesn't know when your birthday is.
saw in the video I posted, he got
But you said he sent you that video for your...
What's a piece of trauma that you have? That's family when I
But she's lying.
Like the oldest
She's lying, though, no? About that. She says in her video somewhere that the only thing that I have from him is saying happy birthday to me and giving me this shirt. Hi, Maddie. I lost track of the date. Happy birthday? Question mark. I hope you are doing well. Love that.
Texts like this.
Okay.
Happy birthday? Question mark. And then like links
I guess
to
maybe he doesn't know your birthday. I guess.
to his breakdancing video.
Okay. Maybe I'm wrong.
Got it wrong. He gave us some money growing up. I honestly don't know the nitty-gritty of the financial situation. I really, really don't. But I do know that several times I've asked him for financial help with medical expenses, like especially like in college, and he wouldn't help me. So
Okay. Who cares? Okay, so that is entitled. She might be right about the other stuff, but that's an entitled perspective that she's running with. Okay, it's one thing when you said he doesn't help with medical expenses, the indication to us is that as a child, he wouldn't help you with your medical expenses. And now you're saying he wouldn't help you when you were an adult. Don't really care that much. It seems like you're doing just fine. I don't really care. My mom won't give me money either as an adult. Okay.
that's what I was referring to in my video when I was like, he wouldn't pay some of my medical bills.
The indication, and maybe she didn't do it on purpose, the indication is that he wouldn't help you with money as a child. So
I'll probably delete this in the morning, but I'm, 2 hard kombuchas in, and so I feel the need to kind of defend me and my family's like POV. Bottom line is this guy was a completely absent father.
That could be true. I don't know. First of all, show us the group chat. Second of all, I don't know if I can believe her because the way that she framed her shit was very, in my opinion, dishonest. So it sounds like listen, I could be wrong. I'm more on the side of the dad. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe she's telling the truth. But the way that she presented it doesn't come off as the most genuine or honest. And so now that she's kind of broken that genuinity, her statement about him not paying medical bills was actually out of context. It sounded like she was trying to signal that he wouldn't pay for them as a child. He did. Apparently he lived down the street. I don't know. Maybe she's right. Maybe he did that for a little bit and then he moved. I don't know. You're going to have to... But she's less credible than him, in my opinion. So
he's like, I was just a bike ride away from those kids. And it's like, not once did any of us ever take a bike ride to his house. I don't think I've ever been in his house ever. So this whole thing is so bizarre. Like, I'm so surprised that he responded to my video because I'm just like, damn, I could have actually made you seem like way worse than I made you seem. Like, in my video, I just made you seem like such a whimsical, funny guy.
Not really. You made it seem like a deadbeat dad that abandoned you and never helped you at all with any finances. So,
but in real life, it was actually a lot darker. So I'm so surprised that he responded to it. And it's obviously kind of hurtful and weird. But
well, you not only responded to it, but you specifically called him out. And that's another problem, too. If she had just made and this is one of the type of stories where she couldn't even make something vague. And the reason is because her dad is like famous. So, but you made the story specifically about your dad, a dad that is famous. You showed him, you completely called him out. Of course he's going to respond. He's going to feel pressured to do so. What are you talking about? That was a call out of your father. That wasn't just some silly whimsical video. And I'm starting to question if she actually thought it was that or if she's just downplaying it. I'm starting to think that she is negatively intentioned. I don't know.
But again, we don't really have a relationship. So
okay.
At the end of the day, it doesn't have a huge effect on me. It's just kind of a bummer for my family. And we're all kind of looking at this and looking at his response. And we're just like, this is crazy. If this is actually his narrative, it's like delusional. I'm recording a quick...
Okay, I guess. I'm still in the middle. Maybe she's right, but I'm having a hard time believing her.
Story time. I went extremely viral on Republican Twitter and then ended up on Fox News.
Oh, I guess this is her shirt from the story. So she's just kind of eating more attention from the story.
This was honestly the most iconic and funny thing that's ever happened to me. So a few weeks ago, I went on a date with this guy and he paid for all my drinks. And so then I posted a TikTok as a joke that was like, the feminism has left my body because this man paid for my drink.
Oh, it's something different. I might watch it still, but... The problem with this young person here, this adult but young person, is that a lot of her stuff is like desperate for attention. And of course we all want attention. I make social media stuff for attention too, but it's like, what kind of attention? And if you're constantly making videos for attention here, you know what I mean? How much of it can we say is true and how much of it is sensationalized? We have a Hollywood screenwriter that's sensation. There's not a single documentary that's not sensationalized in a particular direction. How much of it is sensationalized for some kind of emotional provocation?
Thanks. It was was a joke. It was hyperbolic. So I post that TikTok in the morning, and when I come back later in the day, it is blown up on Republican Twitter. Like, Matt Walsh, big Republican guy, I guess, posts this like podcast episode where he's analyzing my video, and he's like, yeah, she's willing to give up feminism when she gets her drinks paid for, but does she have the fortitude to give up feminism and cook and clean for her man and get in the kitchen? I was like, I don't know, Matt Walsh, it was a joke. I haven't thought that far ahead. Matt Walsh has like millions of like followers and listeners and stuff, and he starts the podcast by saying that I didn't use the word befell correctly, which is not true. I know that I used that word correctly, Matt Walsh. I actually
Okay, interesting.
pride myself on my extensive vocabulary, so that was insulting. You didn't have to go that far, Matt Walsh. Everybody all day on
I
Republican.
don't care about this.
I want to know if anybody out there has a sillier cheating story than the one that I'm about to tell.
It's just always, listen, this, I don't like this person's content. It's going to make me a little biased against them. It's just desperate for attention. It's a bunch of stories that are obviously sensationalized. If you're going to sensationalize a story about going on a date, this one's obviously sensationalized. Your dad's story is obviously sensationalized. Your entire brand is to sensationalize personal stories for some kind of attention. And like that, that's a very negative feedback loop to get yourself roped into. But, you know, you continue to do you, whatever makes you happy. That's the end of this segment.